So tonight we're going to show you the steps of what you need to do to get ready for your feeding. I do mine nocturnal, but anytime when you do it. So we usually start with something called a wound cleaner, and it looks like this, and it just helps clean up anything that you have around your tube that is just produced throughout the day. And then we use just a basic gauze pad because it's softer and it doesn't re-injure the area, because your area where your tube is always going to be super tender and sore. So I'm lucky enough to have my husband that is willing to do this, and I don't know if you could see all the stuff that is around my tube. That is actually really normal. It's continence from within your intestines, and it's part of a wound. So all he's going to do is take that, and then he's going to wipe gently. Again, I'm going to say gently around the area. You'll notice that my tube looks a little sunken in, and the reason being is because if I have a distended stomach at all, then it pushes my tube out, and so we don't want to leave it so that it's too loose, because when you have a button, the stem of it is very, very short, and you could easily lose it, and you don't want that to happen. So the next thing he's going to do is he's going to take a 4x4 straight out of the package, making sure it's nice and sterile. He's going to put it underneath the tube, as he's doing there. Just making sure that any dripping or anything that's happening, any stomach acid throughout the night, is not eating on the skin. Be prepared to go through a couple shirts. My recommendation is to buy the after season shirts that are $1, so you can just throw them away. So he just put one piece of tape on the top, and then all you have to do is flip right here. He's going to make sure that the area is clean, and if not, you can use rubbing alcohol and another one of those gauze pads to clean it. And then here is the tube. So this side right here is where the other tube connects to. And this side over here is where you put it in, and he'll show you how to do that. And then this right here, it locks it or unlocks it for when you're ready for the feed. You want to make sure that you're keeping this in a sterile area at all times. And if you are done, that you're rinsing it and making sure that you're sanitizing it and flushing it every single time you use it. So to put it in, you line up the line with the other line, just like that. He gives it a good push. Don't be afraid to tug up a little bit. It's hard to see, I'm sorry. And then he turns it. So you can see that the line is now on the bottom. So that is really super important that you have that turned. Sometimes our tubes will turn on their own, and that is perfectly normal for your actual tube to turn back and forth depending on where it is in your stomach. Don't be afraid of that. It happens for some people and not for others. So now what he's going to do is just go ahead and take the end of the feeding tube, and there's that cap on it to keep it sterile, so make sure you keep that on until you're ready. And then he'll unhook that, hook it right into that part right there, and then he's going to start the feeding. So that's all that it usually takes at night. If you do have to get up to go to the bathroom, it's easier to go ahead and pause your feeding, hit the lock, which I'm going to unlock right now because my feeding is starting. And then instead of taking the whole thing off, just take this part off and tie it on the top so it can't hit the ground. See, it's already starting to go in now that I unlock that. And that's it. Pretty easy.